This is the Real Pod Newscast with Levon Putney with a quick check on what's going on. So here's my man to get into it.
Thank you for listening, and hopefully we're all able right now to get away from all the madness and sadness and get in some of that fun summer relaxation, maybe at a swimming pool or beach. Do it for me. I haven't been able to dip in the water just yet. Just be careful, though, if looking for a good time in the sand in South Florida's Walton County, so on the Gulf Coast side, and that's where Fox News is reporting. Backstreet Boys singer Brian Luttrell filed a lawsuit against the county because he's saying the sheriff refused to keep trespassers off his private beach, forcing him to pay for security. Must be nice to get off those back streets and on a private beachside property where he can yell, "Get off my lawn!" Look, sand.
My favorite stories of the day.
Well, it is that time of year when guys out looking for summer fun are running across cougars. But an actual mountain lion is not something people usually see roaming around upstate New York's city of Rochester, well, at least until now, maybe. UPI is reporting State Environmental Conservation is investigating after a woman posted home security camera footage on Facebook showing what looked like a pretty large kitty with a pretty long tail sneaking across her family's front yard around 4 last Wednesday morning. Eastern cougars did once live in New York State, but were declared extinct in 2011. 73 years after the last time someone officially saw one in New York, 1938. The officials say sightings nowadays are normally chalked up to being someone's pet that got loose. Your house is trash? I'll pay cash, is what a billboard reads next to a bald-headed, bearded guy's smiling face. Now, those billboards have been up in Cleveland, Ohio, where people, though, are not all that thrilled with the out-of-state investor's pitch. Well, especially not the billboard Fox 8 is reporting he put up reading, "Yes, I buy crack houses." That part is why city officials got that one taken down. Now, local real estate investors, residents, and city officials that Fox 8 talked with say they get the investor was trying to be funny, but they say it was not, and more disrespectful, if anything, to the people he's looking to do business with, especially since Cleveland and surrounding communities have been trying for decades to bring in more investments and developments after all the steel plants and factory jobs dried up. Cleveland City Council's president said they're looking into what they can do right now about the other 6 or so billboards that the investor has up, since they figure he'll lean on First Amendment rights to free speech to keep them up. An RV, by its own definition, is a recreational vehicle, usually with at least one bed, maybe extra space in the back to relax. So one would think if a couple wanted to get physically as close as possible to one another, then they would and could pull over and use the back of the RV for their afternoon delight. But the Wednesday afternoon before last, on the 2nd in Bluefield, West Virginia, WVVA is reporting a police officer on patrol saw an RV roll by him on Bluefield Avenue while a 35-year-old local woman was straddling a 48-year-old local man who was in the driver's seat, also driving while he and the woman were having sex. Naked, by the way. WVVA also reporting the guy admitted the cop did see what he saw once they were pulled over. And it was at that point, police also say they found a glass pipe, burned foil, and a small plastic bag holding a powdery substance. So tacked on drug charges to the indecent exposure and reckless driving charges on the list, which also, the list included a stolen vehicle charge against the woman because, cops say the RV had been reported stolen. So, driving a stolen vehicle while high and having sex behind the wheel. Now, for some reason, someone at some point decided to take off all their clothes at a bowling alley and bowl naked. Ball in one hand, 2 more in the bag, but they did. Seriously, in Pennsylvania's Still Cities, where UPI is reporting the Pittsburgh area naturalist announced this year's Balls Out bowling event was just held this past Saturday night at the Kraft and Ingram Lanes, and shoes were the only clothing allowed and required. Good idea, which also means socks were probably also a good idea. probably allowed. They didn't mention it, but you have to think so. $30 for 4 hours. Unlimited bowling and nakedness. No sex, no pictures or videos. And organizers did tell everyone to bring a towel. If you have to think about it, likely to sit on, a bare butt on those benches and seats cannot feel good, especially after throwing a gutter ball. Hey, back in a moment. But before we break, check out DJ Greg H. and his Jams podcast. Just dropped another new one last week.
Blazing the best hip-hop, R&B, reggae, soca.
You can get the Jams podcast mix on Amazon Music, Audible, iHeart, Apple Podcasts, and Deezer. Download the podcast for free.
It's Jams Hour Mix with Greg H.
Been arrested for throwing a freak-off party?
Or for being video recorded relieving yourself on a teen girl in bed? The law firm of McCracken and Butts is the team for
It's nature, the way nature wanted us to. And drink milk from cows, not mom. That would be gross. Cow's milk. It still does the body good.
Paid for by a made-up dairy committee.
And now for the world around us.
The weekend before this last one, a 62-year-old guy from Paris found out he either has a very understanding and patient wife or she's saving her revenge for later. Because he was driving his 60-year-old wife and 22-year-old daughter. They were on a holiday trip down to Morocco and stopped at a gas station along the way to fill up. Well, the Sun newspaper is one of several actually reporting the wife got out to use the toilet, but he somehow did not see she was not in the car and the daughter was asleep. So he drove off, left his wife on the toilet, and went almost 200 miles before realizing it. Now, at that point, it became a police matter since the guy or daughter had no idea where they stopped for gas. So, they called the cops and officers called a few local departments along the route the family had taken. And, by that point, the wife had also called police to report herself as missing. She ended up waiting for hours before her hubby and daughter pulled up again. Now, the Sun is reporting police did want to make sure the husband was not low-key trying to lose his wife, but they said after a brief investigation, it was clear he genuinely got himself in trouble and left his wife behind. She'll be able to pull that trump card till death do they part. Now, to be honest, news writing has earned its reputation over the years for sometimes being full of puns. Yeah, a lot of times corny. Other times, hey, right on the nose. And I would argue this is one of those times. The latter fits because if the Royal Canadian Mounted Police in Mission, British Columbia, posts a picture of a street lane covered in blueberries, and the post started by saying, "Spill blueberries, create traffic jam." Come on, gotta give the RCMP social media handler at least credit for blueberry jam. That perfect pun presented itself a little over 2 weeks ago on Sunday the 29th. It was after cops say a pickup truck carrying crates of the fruit pulled up to stop at an intersection, but when it pulled off to go, some of the crates didn't want to, stayed behind and tumbled off. And left a sticky mess on cars that rolled through it, at least until the lane was cleaned up. And in Australia, police are trying to track down a guy who maybe cares for someone missing a left foot, or maybe he has a right foot fetish. But in any event, 9 News is reporting cops say they have surveillance video footage of the guy in a shopping center last Monday evening in a Brisbane, Queensland suburb, walking up to a table filled with a shoe store's items, picking out 53 right-footed shoes only, putting them in a suitcase and leaving with him. So, hey, if anyone knows someone who only has a right foot and now has a bunch of new shoes for that foot, please call Queensland's police. Time for another break. Back at
So for women who need a break, there's Sibonac. This chewable gummy will relax your nerves, ease tensions, and help you forget you once had better options.
Sorry, I just had a lot on my mind.
Sibonac. Spelled forwards or backwards, Sibonac's fast-acting tetrahydrocannabinol is an all-natural active ingredient.
What's up with what's going down, though?
London's Wireless Festival just wrapped up celebrating its 20th year by letting rapper and singer Drake rebound from last summer. He was on stage as the headlining main act for all 3 nights. Had a different set list each night because, hey, Drake can do that. He does have a long list of jams, solo and with other artists, and he brought out some, like Lauryn Hill, Vanessa Carlton, and 21 Savage, 21. During Saturday's show, his fans there in Finsbury Park made it clear they still have love for the 38-year-old after last year's big beef with rapper Kendrick Lamar. Yeah, kind of got smoked, but either way, Vibe Magazine or Vibe.com is reporting in the middle of Saturday's performance, though, the fans started chanting F Kendrick over and over. And at a point, Drake stopped and looked at his head security guy off stage and said, "Grab me a shot. I'll drink to that." Yeah, the Canadians still getting support in the motherland, even though Sunday night's set to close out Wireless only lasted 40 minutes, so some Drake fans were upset over that. And will be interesting, though, to see or hear what kind of love Kendrick will get, too, because he and SZA are on tour right now in Europe with shows in London next Tuesday and Wednesday at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, so that'll be interesting. The beef that keeps on grilling.
It seems maybe big and fat, but I like it like that. I like those big hips. Come kiss me on my lips. Baby, when I'm next to you, you feel like jelly. All I wanna do is pass out on your belly. I love you cause you're big and loose. I love that big caboose. So jump on me, baby, like a big bull moose. And I got pillars for your kneecaps. Stoop down, baby, let me back you up.
Ooh, slammy.
Stoop down, baby,
And that's a wrap for another Real Pod newscast. Thanks as always for listening. Hey, I just saw this headline about somebody hacking Elmo's Twitter or X account. Come on, they posted some hateful things in Elmo's name. Some hacker's going to hell for that. Elmo loves everybody. Everybody loves Elmo. Have a great rest of the week. Pray for Elmo. I'll be back Friday.
This has been the Real Pod Newscast with Levon Putney from Show Enough Productions. And for more, hit up the website, realpodnewscast.com. That's real with 2 E's. This is Big Daddy Marty Allen. Thanks for listening.
In South... Oh, yeah. Okay. Show enough.